Here's what's coming up on the Cold Podcast.
Wouldn't be seen in good favor from Lizzo, and that you would then not be considered like one of the people that is like cool and down for anything, and then therefore not be booked for as many jobs.
If you have any sort of allegation against somebody like Lizzo, it makes sense that you would actually go for the lawsuit.
It's interesting to see her turn into the bad guy. You would never assume that someone with those metrics would ever be seen as the bad guy in like mainstream media.
Yeah.
What's poppin', everybody?
Welcome back to the Cold Podcast.
I'm Zoe.
And I'm Steve.
And we're going to be talking about the Lizzo controversy. Most people have heard about it by now, but if you haven't, we're going to be breaking it down for you in full detail and maybe have a little fun while we do it.
Yeah, so Lizzo has been accused of sexually harassing some of her backup dancers. She's also accused of making it a hostile work environment. Surprisingly, she's even accused of fat shaming her dancers.
Whoa.
So that's the most unexpected plot twist of 2023, I think.
You know, that is ironic.
Yeah, because, Lizzo has really proclaimed herself as the queen of fat.
Has she said those words exactly?
I think she has. She has a crown, too. It's like right next to her violin or whatever she plays on stage.
Okay.
But yeah, Lizzo is actually because she's like the spokesperson for fat acceptance.
Yeah, beauty at every size.
Yeah, exactly. Beauty at every size, healthy at every size as well.
Yes,
so
fat acceptance.
So she proclaims that. So to hear that she was fat shaming her dancers is kind of absurd.
I would get that picture right there. I would kind of like to see Lizzo in like one of those in a Biggie Smalls crown where it's like tilted to the side, just the queen of fat people.
Yeah,
but yeah, go ahead. What you were saying?
Oh yeah, no. Lizzo is just basically, she's been accused of some pretty dastardly things. She says that the claims are outrageous, but she's being sued by several different people, one of which is Melissa Jefferson. And, Lizzo's real name is Melissa Jefferson.
Oh,
but she's being sued by several of her backup dancers, Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez.
Okay, and so there's like they're officially like it's suing, like they're taking it like as a lawsuit.
Yeah, they're going all in on it because obviously Lizzo is worth millions of dollars, and I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm not saying that they don't deserve to file a claim, but if you have any sort of allegation against somebody like Lizzo, it makes sense that you would actually go for the lawsuit. Like you would go in deep.
Yeah, I would assume, and to be honest with you, they kind of might as well. It's not like most backup dancers who I think are afraid to pursue any legal actions in this type of industry because that'll make it really hard to get kind of hired back on. But considering that I don't think there's too many plus size backup dancers in the industry, I think she's like the only one doing it. I would be very hard pressed to believe they would be able to find other gigs outside of what Lizzo's offering.
Yeah, I honestly think these fatties are ungrateful.
But I'm like, go big or go home, right?
Yeah, so basically they made so Lizzo was accused of making like some thinly veiled statements about the weight gain of her dancers. And if you guys don't know, she actually had a TV show, Lizzo. She had a TV show called Watch Out for the Big Girls, right? So the whole point of that show was for her to recruit overweight, obese dancers, right? And it just was like a documentary series where they followed the trials and tribulations of these big dancers trying to learn how to dance and become, the queens that they were meant to be behind Lizzo. And like Zoe was saying, right, this whole idea of a fat backup dancer did not exist prior to Lizzo making it a thing. So you would think, like, even if you're forced into some weird situations, you'd still have to second guess it. So honestly, my hat's off to these people that are actually suing because they're never going to work again.
Yeah. So aside from, like I said, the kind of hypocrisy of like her, kind of saying like her backup dancers are too, like basically fat shaming them essentially. What other things did she do that they're complaining about? Like, what are some details of the sexual harassment that happened on the set?
Right. So in terms of sexual harassment, apparently Lizzo actually took them to Amsterdam. She had a show in Amsterdam, I guess, and took all the dancers to a sex club. And one of the minor things, I guess, she did, she made one of her dancers like grab a sex worker's breasts, so that's one of the minor things, but there are also major things.
Yeah, I heard something with a banana. Do you know about that one at all?
Yeah, the banana incident is how we'll refer to it. So there was an instance where Lizzo basically had one of the sex workers insert a banana into her vagina. and and then one of the dancers had to eat the banana, and she was like sort of coerced by Lizzo to do that.
Okay.
Right, but the story has been bounced around a couple of different times. Like, people aren't sure if the banana was like, propelled out of the vagina into her mouth, or if the banana was currently inserted when she had to eat it. There's a whole bunch of different stories.
Yeah, I've heard several different iterations. It's either someone had to eat it out the vajayjay, someone either had or it was someone shoved it up like the person's basically shoved the banana up their thing. And then I heard the story you just gave where it's like force them to eat it.
Yeah. So honestly, that sounds like a treat for me, but those women
seems like I don't really see a problem with it, but
yeah, those women were probably not too into it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's why they're suing. And also Lizzo was accused of making like a hostile work environment, like insulting the dancers, forcing them to like stand up and work out by dancing and things like that. So
kind of generally sounds like the same type of stuff that Ellen got hit for back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, when they were just like, just hostile work environment, all the things that go into it. She was mean, demanding, made you do stuff you don't want to do.
Right. And she was like just hard to work with in general.
Yeah.
But Lizzo defends herself. Could you actually go to the second quote on the notes? So scroll down. Yeah, so Lizzo says, "These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegation, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed." Okay. And I think she's saying that because, like, in the wake of her accusations first coming out, the internet exploded.
Yeah.
Everybody was laughing at her.
And I think that's the thing, too, because it's one of those accusations that's so outrageous and spreads so quickly that I can get where she's coming from a little, like why she was probably hoping that it would just be kind of like accusations and then die down. But when something like that blows up, a lot of times the narrative starts to be, not did this happen, this did happen, and now how will Lizzo respond? So here, she finally spoke out on, said she's claiming that okay, all this is blown out of proportions and is not necessarily true.
Yeah.
I would ask what do you think on it? Do you think any of these things are founded, or these are allegations that are just being blown out of proportion and probably not being reported as accurately as the people suing her would claim?
So in my opinion, and also from some research I've done, I've heard a lot of different things from different people. Like, for example, comedian Tim Dillon. Mm-hmm. He basically said he was doing an episode with Joe Rogan, and they were discussing this entire controversy. So what he thinks happened was that the backup dancers, all of them had been fired already. So he thinks that they were just trying to make a case based on the things that they had experienced. And because they'd been fired, they're like, well, now we have like wrongful termination lawsuits, stuff like that.
Okay.
So he thinks that they were just trying to kind of,
maliciously get a bag,
kind of get back.
They're just trying to get money out of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I can see that being a thing where it's like, because a lot of times when these things come out, it'll be things that at the time they probably weren't like adverse to or had too much issue with, but because of other circumstances, like, oh, I'm being fired, I can kind of leverage these things that maybe at the time I wasn't I didn't care about or didn't see as workplace toxicity, and I'm gonna use that as a point of well, now I'm gonna get back at you by claiming you were actually a really terrible person and you were hard to work with and all these other allegations.
Right. Yeah. And it's they probably ate that banana a year ago.
Yeah. Who knows how long it happened. Now, not saying that makes it correct. I'm just saying that the motivations behind it may not be as altruistic as people would want to assume it is.
It wasn't a problem back then, but I do have a case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So Lizzo actually said, "With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I'm not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days." And boy, did they. They definitely made her into the villain. But
that's true, yeah. This is the first time that I think Lizzo has ever had a spotlight shine on her where she's an actual bad person. Because I think she's always kind of been the face of the whole, like I said, big girl advocacy. And because of, that, I'll just say inherent victimhood you kind of get from having those stats. I'm a big black woman. It's interesting to see her turn into the bad guy. You would never assume that someone with those metrics would ever be seen as the bad guy in like mainstream media.
Yeah, it's truly sensational.
Yeah.
And it's gotten so bad, she's actually hired the same lawyer as Bill Cosby.
Oh, she's taking this serious.
Yeah, she is really in for the
Just
win.
a few false accusations. Top lawyers needed.
Yeah.
Top lawyers needed.
Her entire empire is going to crumble under this case, man.
Oh, man.
It's crazy. But you know, and actually one thing I forgot to mention, there was another situation. Basically, she has a dance captain. Her name's Shirlene Quigley. The dance captain is accused of basically like creating like a hostile work environment in the sense of she would push her religion on people. So she's a Christian, and basically she would like talk to the dancers about how they weren't Christian and how they were having premarital sex and but at the same time she would be talking about her sexual fantasies and different things like that, and talking about like oral sex and stuff. So it's just like weird. So she's also being sued, but Lizzo is like the main target here.
Yeah, she's the you gotta cut the head off.
Yeah, so let's open up the floor. We got some more content that's a little bit more engaging with the whole case, like different perspectives, different views. This is actually an interview that TMZ did with the two of the backup dancers that are filing a suit. There are 3, but this is 2 of them.
Okay.
Made by Lizzo, as you say, were they direct, where they said, I really want you to do it, or was it more, I'm afraid if I don't, I might get fired?
Yeah, I think for both of us, there was like this always looming feeling of thinking that if you didn't do something or you didn't adhere to certain suggestions or demands, that your job could be in jeopardy. Have fun with her and, go along with like what she was doing and, be down for anything that they were favored. They were hired for more shows. They were invited on, like private jets and to do cool things and, could hang out with her in like tropical settings like Hawaii and stuff like that. Some of our coworkers, it's just like there was no line between professionalism and personal. And so we had in our minds that if we weren't, down for anything, that we would then be ostracized later. It was this unspoken thing in the camp that if you weren't super fun, like if you like skipped out on all of the like outings and all that stuff, that you wouldn't be seen in good favor from Lizzo, and that you would then not be considered like one of the people that is like cool and down for anything, and then therefore not be booked for as many jobs.
Okay. That's interesting, man. And I just find this whole video, if you're not watching, there's just a white guy sitting in between them.
Yeah, he just sitting there. Is he their lawyer?
I'm assuming it's their
Definitely.
lawyer, but
Okay.
why is he just sitting there in the middle of the video? I don't know. It's weird.
It's the focus.
But, part of me, when I was watching that video, I feel like it's I don't know. It doesn't feel like truly authentic. Like they're just saying like, oh, I felt like, because Lizzo is like so fun, we have to have fun with her. She's not going to work with us anymore.
Right.
But is that really a case?
It's hard to say, because I mean that sounds like kind of like standard industry peer pressure, where it's like you feel like you have to acclimate to the culture of the industry because otherwise you're going to be ostracized, or even if it's like very indirect, they're going to find a way to like kind of make the environment uncomfortable for you because you're not in the in group, and I guess that fear of being kicked out. And I'd say to an extent that's like a real factor in a lot of like cultural cohesion in industry. But it does sound like a lot of PR, essentially, kind of like, a lot of it's kind of relying on this idea of like, this is how I felt rather than this is what happened.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It doesn't seem like they are truly like hurt. Especially I don't know, the lawyer threw me off. Just the lawyer sitting there, it felt like the lawyer was speaking, like the lawyer just wrote them some statements and they just kind of said it. I just felt so uncomfortable. I felt so uncomfortable because Lizzo, she just had so much fun, and we had to have fun with her, and everyone else was on a private jet, but we couldn't go on the private jet because we wouldn't eat the banana and all this other stuff.
Yeah, all I know is that like when there's a lawyer on scene with you, then like the main motivation just getting those key words in there, Yeah. Like so I think that's like a lot of the like dialogue they were using. It was like mostly fluff to make sure they hit those key points. Like make sure you say she did this, that, and make sure you use these words. And that's where I think the inauthenticity comes from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ironic because like if you like I don't know, I guess what's the word, like represent yourself in court, you're immediately looked at as like a really stupid person.
You're right. Like
how dare you sit here and talk about your own opinion?
It's actually really funny.
About your accusation. You need someone with a suit in here that's going to make all of us nervous.
Yeah.
About what we think about you.
That's like a real thing. It's like, I don't know, like it's weird. Like it's looked at as like the audacity to do that. Like you're so, like the standard is you're not supposed to speak for yourself.
No.
That's a really stupid move. Why would you do that?
Right.
And now we got another video.
What's this about?
This looks like it's just Lizzo. What is this? Lizzo just dancing?
This could be potentially some sort of evidence that Lizzo's giving away, like, that she's in the wrong.
Did she say something? I guess in this.
There's some hidden lyrics. These are lyrics.
Okay, let's hear the.
I guess we.
Can we hear that?
It's just 9 seconds.
Yeah, we can probably do it. We can do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm worried.
I think we should be good.
All right.
This is a deleted song,
So
apparently.
everyone get ready for these deleted song lyrics.
Right.
Had to cut some hoes loose, yeah. Indy ain't no loose lips. Now them hoes tryna sue me. Bitch, I don't give two shits. All the
What?
Oh, okay.
Wow, that was like pretty blatant.
Yeah.
That was like blatantly like I committed the thing.
That's hilarious. And like literally
Can we
she.
do it one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, honestly, I do want to hear that
One
again.
more time. What the fuck is going?
had
Sorry.
to cut some hoes loose, yeah. Indy ain't no loose lips. Now them hoes tryna sue me. Bitch, I don't give two shits. All the
That's hilarious.
NDA, no loose lips.
Yeah.
Now they trying to sue me.
So she just admitted, just in song, and it's listen. If
And
it can be done to
deleted.
Gucci Mane, it can be done to Lizzo. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically on the same level.
That's actually kind of crazy. Like that. I mean, that's the most on the nose admission that you can honestly get.
She said, "I made someone sign an NDA. They have loose lips. Now they're trying to sue me. I can't give two."
Yeah.
Yep.
Like what the heck?
Bro, she's just gonna say that was just art. Okay, it didn't mean anything.
Right.
That's why she
it's
had
the
to
same
delete
as
it.
when a rapper
Yeah.
talks about murdering someone
Yeah.
and then robbing their baby mama.
What murder?
Yeah, what are you talking about? That's just music, bro.
Yeah, it's just
Like, come on.
music. I was just being creative today.
That's all that was.
Yeah.
It was a metaphor.
And after that, I feel like this next video is warranted. This is Lizzo, I think, trying to get into a golf cart or something.
All right. That sounds funny.
It's all about that
Just
premise.
the irony. Of,
Just-
just
yeah,
to
the
capture the
premise
irony
alone.
of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
That's hilarious.
Bro, she straight up almost tipped it over.
Lizzo almost tipped over the
Wide
golf
load
cart.
in the back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like they're like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah,
That's
they're
a look
like,
behind them.
like they didn't expect that to happen.
Man.
You know, you see, if that's happening to you, why aren't you protecting larger women in your industry? Why
You know?
aren't you truly being that queen that you're expected to be?
Yeah. You know, you got to wear if you want the crown, you got to wear it.
You gotta
Right.
start
Race
making
size.
songs about making golf carts do wheelies.
I think they said I think they literally yelled like let her drive. Like she needs to be at the front.
telling you, bro.
Yeah. We ain't going nowhere unless Lizzo drives.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, instead of sitting, Lizzo stand for something, girl. She's just gonna wear everyone down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I feel like that's a good breakdown on Lizzo here. Like,
Yeah.
we got anything else? Anyone got some closing statements? Roosevelt, I know you love Lizzo.
Yeah, that's true. You're a big
What do you
fan.
think
That's
about the queen?
Lizzo cool. I mean, shit. I ain't know. I mean, damn. I ain't know she was that heavy though. Like, that's kinda,
I didn't know she was tip a golf cart
He's
heavy.
got the weight reference evidence that a golf cart with 3 people in it can still be hindered by her.
Yeah.
I knew she was big, but I didn't know she was that big, bro.
That's crazy.
That was surprising to me. You know what I'm saying?
Like that really threw. Roosevelt's shook right now.
He was like, man, I probably can't lift her after all.
Man, imagine what she can do with a bed.
Oh man.
You need a strong bed.
You need a steel frame.
Yo.
Steel wire.
All right, let's close it out.
What's
before-
what's her last, like, what does this say? This is her last
yeah.
quote.
Oh, okay. So this is Lizzo's former creative director, along with
Oh.
one of her former dancers, share support for the lawsuit filed against the singer. I'm not a part of the lawsuit, but this was very much my experience. In my time there, I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to light. So someone's in support of it. I mean, I guess I guess a lot of people had a bad experience with Lizzo, man, and I mean,
Right.
Yeah, from
I'm
what I
looking
know
good
about
for her.
big.
We can't speak on certainties, you know. We can only speculate here, folks.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess I won't say what I was about to say.
Just complete.
No, I'm not gonna say
This
it.
is my opinion, and it's a fact.
Anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, all platforms where you can find audio or video. We're also on Patreon. All right, the Patreon. We got My Black Friends podcast, the entire backlog stored there, ready to watch. You can see the whole playlist. We're going to be doing new episodes at some point in the maybe distant future, maybe near future, who knows. Just depends on scheduling and how often we can get it done. That show's more comedy based, so it's worth the $5 a month if you want to watch it and just kind of chill at work or chill in the car or whatever you're doing.
It's probably not safe for work, so like.
Well, have headphones.
Yeah, have headphones.
Have headphones ready.
Like just for MBS.
Maybe some AirPods, some Raycons. Raycon, hit us up.
For it. It's really good content.
Yeah. So, thanks for watching, man. We got to pop out of here.
All right, everyone. Peace.